Good day, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are joining from. We are happy and excited to welcome you for today's session. And as you might have known already, today's session is based on Excel, and we are just going to do introduction to Excel. So today we target mastering Excel basics. So I want you to listen. And then before I delve in, I want to know if I have members listening to me. Please, you can unmute yourself and let me know if you are in. All right, I can see Barnabas is in, Michael, and then one other person, and then I. So we are 4 on this live session. So I just want to hear from Barnabas. How are you doing today?
We're doing good, thank God. Though the first session I missed, it was due to some tight schedules. But I said this one I mustn't miss it, even though I still have some things to trash out on my table. But I said this one I mustn't miss it, so that it won't look like your participants is unserious. Thank you very much.
All right, Barnabas. It's okay. It's fine. We all have busy schedules, all right? But if we put our mind to certain things, we are going to achieve them. Okay, this is just a learning phase for us that we are just entering into the data analytics career. So we just want you to stay encouraged. You know, the road can be quite cumbersome, and it can be somehow if you do not have anyone cheering you up on the journey. And so as much as possible, you want to be your cheerleader, want to encourage you as much as possible, and then want to provide clarity to some areas where you might need clarification. And so this group is free of charge for anyone that is interested to join, as I will be making myself available to explain some things for us, and at some point or so we may also have other professionals come in to join us, but that will depend on our seriousness. So because we cannot go ahead to do this much and then we don't have people to teach, so we want to beseech and enjoy you to try as much as possible to stay connected to the group. We are not collecting any money from anyone. We only need your commitment and dedication to learning. All right, thank you very much, Barnabas. Michael, how are you doing today? Do you want to talk? All right, it appears Michael does not want to talk. Okay, right, Michael is on. You can go ahead,
Yeah,
please.
good evening, everyone. I'm
Good
doing great.
evening.
I'm doing fine. It's a cool weekend. At least the weather is cool. So thank you. Nice to be in this section again. And I hope to get the best out of whatever we are going to do. Also.
All right, that's
Yes.
awesome. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Michael, for joining in. So we hope that during the course of the session, we'll have others join us. All right, so we can just get started. So let me know if my screen is clear enough at your end. I'm just going to put it on presentation mode now. So let me know if you can see clearly. And again, if you are joining with your phone, you just need to, double tap, just tap your screen twice and then expand to wherever you want. And then you'll be able to see whatever you want to see more clearly. All right. So for today, we are starting with Excel basics. And then we just want to, lay a kind of foundation for everyone. We just want to know that, yes, we are starting on a good foundation. And that is why it is essential that we go through some Excel basics. During the course of today's session, you may see some things you are familiar with and why other things you are not familiar with. We need the whole of this knowledge to consolidate into building a solid foundation for everyone. Foundation is very important, as we all know. If you want to build a house, you need to set out well. You need to build your foundation very strongly. So, and because of that, we are having this session. And again, for your information, I'm going to be switching tabs because this session is primarily hands-on. So we are going to just read from our slides while we do the practical on our workbook. So just know that. By way of introduction, getting started with data analysis in Excel or spreadsheet, you need to know some basics. And these are the basics you need to get familiar with before you set out. Then you need to know basics elements of a spreadsheet. Right, you need to know use shortcuts in spreadsheet. You need to know how to enter, edit data in a spreadsheet. You need to know how to copy, fill, and format cell and even data in a spreadsheet. You need to know how to use basic formula and function in Excel workbook, and also be able to do simple calculations in Excel workbook. And also, I have marked some in black. They are not basic, but we'll touch on them as we move ahead in this the Excel journey. So we also have data referencing in Excel workbook and how to handle formula errors. Okay. Microsoft Excel is the most widely used spreadsheet software. As you may know, now we have different spreadsheets that you can use. We have Google Sheets. You can use Google Sheets. We have, which other one? WPS. Or also, they have their own sheet. But above all of these, we have Microsoft Excel being the one that is mostly used by everybody. And this Microsoft Excel, we have it in desktop application and also as an online application. The online application is called Excel for the web. And then in this modern day versions of Excel that we have, I mean Excel from 2007, each worksheet can have rows of exactly 1,048,576. If possible, I want you to know this figure so that when you are dealing with data that are more than this, you are going to know that maybe Excel might not be suitable. But for now, for the recent version of Excel that we have, it can hold data of that has a row of about 1,048,576. And the column, the standard columns for modern day Excel is 16,384. All right, it would be good that you know that Excel, in Excel, we have spreadsheets. You know, spreadsheet, this is a typical spreadsheet, and we also call it Excel worksheet or Excel workbook. So I can mention a spreadsheet, it's the same as workbook, it's the same as worksheet. All right, so yeah, for your typical worksheet, this is how it looks. I want to believe that many of us are familiar with the Excel interface and we know how it looks like. So the vertical arrangement is the column, while the horizontal arrangement is the row. And then you see that you have something like rectangular boxes, you know, that makes up the whole Excel workbook or worksheet. So these are called cells, right? So each one is called cell. So we can come to the naming of Excel cells, right? I'm going to go into the naming after this next slide. So let's see what is on this next slide. So Excel for the web. Remember, I told you that Excel can be as a desktop version. You can decide to use the desktop version or use the online version. I so much recommend the online version for us because I see that we are all technology is evolving, and gradually we are in the world of cloud computing. So you need to have all your details, essential files stored in the cloud, all right? That wherever you go with whatever laptop that you have, you can be able to access your data anywhere. And so this is why I just want to strongly recommend that you get familiar with the online applications that we have, like the Excel for the web that you can use as a substitute for your Excel for desktop. All right. And then how can you get your Excel for the web? You can just go to www.office.com and then you just click on create one. So from there, you can begin to image here to, all right. So the procedures are highlighted here. So the first procedure, once you log into the website or the URL, use this URL www.office.com, you are able to log into the Microsoft Office account, and then you are able to sign up successfully, and then you begin to use your Excel for the web without paying a dime or without paying kobo. You know that I like that we are able to learn even without breaking a bank. All right, so you are able to sign up on your Excel for the web without paying any money. All right, so I'm just going to show us quickly how you can open a document on Excel for the web. Is quite different from when you are using Excel desktop. If you are using Excel desktop, you just have your file saved somewhere on your local computer and then open it right away. You don't even need to specify what you use, but because your local computer is already acclimatized to the Excel sheets, once they see it, they will want to automatically use Excel to open it. So let me just show you how you can get started with using Excel for the web. All right, look at my Microsoft account that I just opened shortly before we started our session. Please let me know if you can see clearly, else I'm just going to zoom out a bit or zoom in. Okay, I hope you are able to see my screen clearly. And don't forget, you can always just tap twice on your screen, and then you'll be able to expand the area or the section of my slide that you want to see clearly. So let's go ahead. This is the Microsoft Office that I just opened with my account, with the account I want to be using for it. So I just want to start, and then I don't have any file here. I want to use a file on this Microsoft 365. So first of all, you can navigate to these dotted dots. You see this cubic dots. You just expand to see the applications that we have under Microsoft 365. You see, we have different applications that you can use while you are online. All right, you can use Excel. So we are using Excel for today. So you just click on it. So it's loading. All right, while you click on it, it's just going to open, okay, this for you. So because you are just starting, because we are just starting out, we don't have any file, and we cannot just begin to do something. As data analysts, you always have file that you want to deal with. So you have your file saved somewhere, maybe in your document or some another place. So you just come here. If you can see my arrow, Barnabas, please confirm that you can see. Else, I would like to just zoom out a bit.
I can see.
All right, so I want to show you how you can upload your file on Excel for the web. So you just click here. This is upload. You know, you already have your workbook saved in your local computer. You just click upload. Right, you click upload. Is trying to upload. All right, you just open your local computer storage for you. And let's say, let me just choose one of the Excel sheets that I have here. I have these India startup funding. So I've decided to pick one. All right. So it's going to just open automatically for me once I click on that. So it's opening for me. All right, one thing I want you to know is that at times too, it may not open at once. All right, so you may have a pop-up that says something, but just click on the pop-up and then you do whatever it says, and then you see your file opening up for you. So here is my data set that I want to work with, and then you are able to see how I've been able to upload my file into the Microsoft Excel for the web. All right, I think we can go ahead with our presentation. Okay, so the next thing we want to see is how we can get started. Of course, I've been able to show us this. So you click on the app launcher. So the cube of dots, cube of dots. So that just use that, and then it will open up, and then you navigate to where you see upload, and you are able to upload your sheet. I think this part of it is sorted with that explanation. Next slide is just showing you. All right, so I really want you not to get confused when you're doing it on your own. All right, so the first is to open the cube of dots, then you choose Excel, then it will open up for you, and then you use your upload, then you upload your file, and automatically you don't need to do anything to upload and open for you automatically. Let's go ahead. So this one is, this slide is about renaming your file. If you want to rename your file on Excel for the web, how do you do it? So just as you have for your desktop version, you just navigate to Save As. Please let me show you that quickly before we move on. All right, this is the file we just uploaded on our Excel for the web. So we are just going to go on the file here. I hope you can all see. So you go on that file there, and then you choose Save As. So you choose Save As. What do you want to do? You want to rename your Excel workbook. So what name do you want to give this one? We don't want to change all the name. We just want to say tax one. All right, I've been able to add that. So it saves automatically. So you can just click enter, and then you see your file with the new appendix that we just added. So that's just it, quite easily done. Let's go ahead. Okay, I want you to be able to see clearly so that I'm not just talking. I really want you to see what I am doing. So we are on page 9. We are on page, okay, we have done page 10. Let's move on to page 11. So useful shortcuts in worksheet. This is very important for us to know. All right, and this is how they know that yes, we have already mastered our Excel basics when we are able to use shortcuts. Where we want to be doing manual stuff, we are just able to use shortcut and is able to do whatever we want to do for us. So first of all, I will just read out before I explain using the workbook. So if you want to get to the cell at the end of your data in the worksheet, so you press Ctrl plus End. Right? If you want to get to the start, you are at the end now, you want to go back to the start, you just press Ctrl plus Home button. Then if you want to get to the end of the column you are in, a particular column you are in, you just press Ctrl down arrow. So it will take you to the end of that particular column. All of this I'm going to show you. So if you want to get to the top of the column, just press Ctrl up, and then you get to the top again. To select cell in a single row, maybe a single row you just want to select, so you use your Shift plus right arrow. Shift plus selecting. You understand? Shift plus. By the time I show you the practical, you are going to just get familiar at once with all these shortcuts. So if you want to also select cell in a single column, so you use Shift plus down arrow. If you want to select multiple columns or rows, so you need to use your Shift right arrow. Then you continue like that till you reach where you are going. All right. So to select the entire worksheet now, the shortcut to select the entire worksheet, you can either click on the corner button or you just use Ctrl A and it just select all your cells for you. So let's just do the practical application of this thing I just mentioned. So this is our file. Let's still stick on to this file. The name of this file is India Startup Funding. So it has different columns. Right? So, but before then, I'll just quickly want to show us something with a blank sheet before we use a sheet that has been populated. So I want to show us how you name your cells in the worksheet. All right. When I was introducing Microsoft Excel, I told you that Microsoft Excel, the recent versions, they have up to 1,048,576. All right, and I said that is for the rows. Then I said columns is about 16,004. Who still remember? How many columns do we have? How many columns do we have? Do you still remember? If there is nothing you gain from this session, you should be able to tell people that, yes, I know the number of rows and columns in Excel. So let me remind you again, we have 16,384 columns in recent versions of Excel, while we have 1,048,576 rows. So let's get back to our blank sheet. So to name your cell, so you just click here, just click any cell that you want, and then it's going to show you. So this is column A, column B, column C. I just hope that someone can see my screen clearly. Let me zoom out a bit. So I think it's okay this way. So for your column, you see your column extends from A to XFD. Your column extends from A to XFD. All right, so you have A, B, C, D, Z. When it reaches Z, it begins from A, B, B, C, and like that, you will reach XFD. All right. Why for your rows, it runs from number 1 to number 1,048,576. And for each cell of the worksheet, you can name it. So someone can just say, go to cell Z10. You know where it is. So let's just do practical. So the first cell, of course, is named A1. And how am I able to know? If you see clearly, you see the green highlights on A, and then for the row, you see it is highlighting row 1. So now, let me just do one more example. This one is on this cell I highlighted is row cell I6. Barnaba, please, if you can save my screen, I have just highlighted a cell. I want you to let me know what cell is this. What cell are we on? This is going to be a practical session. I don't want to be talking to myself alone. What cell are we?
This is row 8, column M.
All right, great. So you are going to say this is M8, cell M8. Do you understand? All right, thank you very much for that. I'm so glad that you got that. So you are going to see just the green highlight. You don't need to use your eyes to trace anything. So it will just highlight for you both the column and the row. Thank you very much. I think we can go ahead. Okay, I think we can go ahead. I opened the worksheet to show you something, to show you the shortcuts, all the various shortcuts that you can use. You know, by the time you're using them, you're like, this one is Agba data analyst. He's not just doing something manually, right? So let's just, let me just show you the shortcuts that I have mentioned. They are not limited to that, but we keep on learning, all right? So, but those ones that for basic knowledge, we should know. So the first one is the use of control key and up arrow. Okay, let's use control key and down arrow. On your computer, I just want to believe that you know where the arrows are, left, right. Okay, my arrow keys are on the right hand side of my computer. So if you use Mac, I don't know, I use Windows 10, I guess. So you can be able to figure out that. All right, so we want to get to the end of this column now. What will I press? I'll just press my control down arrow. Control down arrow. What did that do? It brings me to the end of my, sorry, I pressed that twice. So I want to go back to the start. Then I'll just press control up arrow. Please ensure you are pressing it once. Okay, because I've pressed it twice, I need to press it again. All right. I wouldn't know if you saw what I did there. I want to get down to the last column, or no, last cell. So we are dealing with cells here, and this is cell A112. That is the last cell for column A. All right, so let's just go back to the first, which is A1. I see. I hope you are able to grab that. So I use control down arrow to go to the last cell of the column A, which is cell A117. And then what did I use to bring myself back? I use control up arrow. So I think that is well understood. So for another shortcut I want to use, that is shift arrow. Okay, sorry, that is control arrow. We are still on control and forward arrow, or the right arrow. Let me say the right arrow. So it took me to the last it took me to the last cell of that particular role of this particular data set. So how do I go back to where I came from? Just going to use control back arrow, control left arrow, we call it left arrow, right arrow, up arrow, and down arrow. I think now we are able to see the function of control with up arrow, with down arrow, with left arrow, and right arrow. So let's move to shift. What will our shift do for us? Okay, we want to highlight a particular section or section of our data set, right? You see that this data set is it's many. So we cannot just afford to be doing it one by one. So we need all these shortcuts to make our work efficient. So for the shift arrow, for the shift key rather, I'm going to be using my shift key and the forward arrow. Shift key and right arrow. Shift key and right arrow will move me horizontally. It will move me until I want to stop. And then when I want to go back to, I can press my shift key down and then begin to go back. It won't delete anything. It will only highlight for you. What if I want to just go vertical? I don't want to say I want to go down. So I want to go vertical. What will I use? I will use shift and down arrow. Shift and down arrow. All right, you can just press shift and down arrow till you get there. Till you get to your. So you can be pretty fast if you think that your data set is that large. All right, so what do I do if I want to go back? I just want to go back. All right, I want to go back to where I started from. So I'm back. If you want to go back, you can just bring your cursor here and bring it back and just tap on the first. But I'm just showing you the function of, up arrow with your shift key, down arrow with your shift key, down left arrow with your shift key, and right arrow with your shift key. I hope you got that. And then again, we can use this shift key with all of this arrow to just select our data set. Now we know that the end of the data set is this remark column. So we can just begin to go down like this, vertical, go vertical till we reach the end of our data set. So now we have reached the end, which is row 112. All right, so we want to go back. So you don't need to even do that. You want to just go back, just tap on any cell and then to go back to normal. I hope we got that. Now we don't need to do this last step if you just want to select all your data sets, because we can have data sets running to 1,048,576. You can just have that. You will not just continue to use your shift arrow and down key. Please don't do that. So what will you do? You will just use your Control A and everything will just automatically select for you. It's lagging, I know, but now you can see it. So are you able to see that? It has selected all our data sets for us all at once. So it will not select where you don't have data. All right, see? It selected all our data to row 112. I hope we all got this. So if you want to, let me do a recap. If you want to go, if you just want to know where your column ends, you just use Control and the left arrow. You're just knowing that to know how large your data set is. You have been presented with a data set, and it will just be wise of you to know, let me just see how many columns do we have in this data set. All right, and then you'll be able to say that yes, this data set reaches column J. That means how many columns A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. That's 10 columns. And then you just want to know, okay, how many rows do we have? How many rows do we have here? So you still press your control and down arrow. So it will bring you to the last. That means the last cell is cell J112. I hope you got that. Let's go ahead. So we are able to use shortcuts in worksheets. I hope you are able to take that home. So another, okay. The next thing we want to see is how to view your data. How to view your data, all right, to make your row or your row header static, or maybe your column header static. All right, I'm still going to go back to, so what are you supposed to do if you want to make your row header? I've not told you what a row header is and column header. I know. All right, we are going to do the practical, but let's see for viewing your data.
Sorry, can we have presentation mode?
All right, thank you. We can. It keeps taking me back to once I leave the page. It keeps taking me back to normal mode. All right, I just hope you are able to see it now. So I said viewing data to make your row header static on screen while you move down the worksheet. So on the ribbon, you just click view. From view, you choose freeze paint, and then you freeze the top row. Also, or similarly, if you want to freeze your column header, I'm going to show you all this, don't worry. On the ribbon, you click view, you freeze the pane, click freeze, and then the first column, you freeze the first column. To freeze both the top row and the first column at the same time while you move down and across the worksheet, you just select the cell B2. I'm going to show you, and click view, then freeze pane and freeze selected area. So I want to show you the practical application of that. Now, this my cursor is on the last cell. So I want to come back to the very first cell. What am I going to use? I'm going to use my control function and up arrow to take me to, okay, this, okay. I'll just use my control, up arrow, down arrow to just navigate to the first cell, which is cell A1. All right, I want to freeze my row header, my column header. But first of all, let's deal with row header. So row header, if you see my worksheet very well from your end, you will see that I have headers. Headers are just like the title of my column, the title of the columns. So I have serial number, date, startup name, industry, vertical, sub-vertical, city location, and like that and like that. You know, for easy recognition, I've decided to bolden the column header. So that is your row header. Sorry, this is your row header. Okay, I can say this is your column header. Serial number is the title of the column A here. The title of column B is date. The title of column C is startup date. So, and like that and like that. So let's deal with column header first. So now I want to freeze, you see, let me show you something. If I want to just move about this, you see, can you still see my column header? I know what you can see is the custom header, which is saying A, B, C, D, E, F. All right. You are unable to see my title, the title of my column. You are unable to see that. All right. What if I go this way Also, are you able to see my the serial number that I have, which is pointing to the rows? You are unable to see that. So, but I want to be able to see my column header and my row headers. So first of all, I want us to deal with the column header. So to freeze this column header, you just come here to view. So again, all of these that we have on top of your Excel sheets, they are called ribbon. So this is your ribbon. So I can say, Barnaba, go to your ribbon and navigate to view tab. So on your ribbon, you have different tabs. So now this is my ribbon, and I've been able to open the view tab. So under view tab, I have different things there. So, but I want to use the freeze paint. All right, I want to use the freeze paint. Then I'm going to select it, and it's now asking me, what do I want to freeze? Is it freeze assertion? Is it top row? Is it up to row 1? Is it first column? Is it up to? So I want to deal with the top row first. So I'll just say top row. The top row is my column header. So this is it. Now let's see if truly our column header has been frozen. Look at it. My audience, look at it. You are able to see that even while I move up and down, I am still able to see my column headers. Now let's quickly unfreeze that and then let's unfreeze. You want to unfreeze too, you go back to that same place and then you just choose unfreeze, and then automatically it's going to unfreeze for you. All right, you want to do for row headers. I mean, this one that is saying serial number, I think that is your serial number 17, starting from 17, 13. I don't know why it's like that, but want to freeze the first column here. All right, so you are going to go back to your ribbon, and on your ribbon you are going to select the view tab. So on your view tab, you're going to still go back to your freeze pane, and then what do you want to freeze? I want to freeze my first column. All right, so you see, let's see if that works. So let me just move my arrow. You see, Barnaba, if you are able to see from your end, and Michael, you see that why I move, vertically this way, my first column is frozen. My first column, which is helping me to identify which row we are. You can just get lost and not know which row is which, because you may not be able to count. And even when I move down I'm still able to know that, okay, this one is your serial number 36, serial number 40, So that is it. And now we can unfreeze this by going back to the same place. We can unfreeze that. Now, I want to, because it would be nice for me that as I am moving about, as I am navigating up, down, sideways, left, right, my worksheet, I'm able to still see my column header and my row header. So what will I do? I'll just select this next cell, the one that is next to A2. To A2 is B2. So this is where I'm going to select, and then I'm going to go back to view. It's already in the view mode or the view tab. Then I'm just going to say freeze at selection. Right, then once I choose that, my row header and column header automatically become frozen. So while I move up, down, sideways, and while I just check through my worksheet, the two headers, both column header and row header, they are intact. I hope we all got that. I hope. Is there any question at this juncture? Does anyone have any question at this juncture? Do you have any question before we go ahead? So if you don't have any question, we just move ahead. So this one is showing you, I think this one, if you want to use your normal desktop, so this is how you go about it. It's pretty the same thing. Still go to view and it's still going to show you what to do. All right, so for our practical session today, I'm so excited that we have reached this point where we'll be able to do some sort of hands-on. All right, and then everybody's going to practice this. If you are unable to do it now, you can do it after the session and just show me your worksheet later. So is anyone talking?
Yes.
I see someone as unmuted. You want to talk? All right, go ahead,
Yes.
please.
From what you are using anyway, I don't
Yeah.
like. What about where we like collect? Sorry to go a bit advanced. Where we collect
Okay.
like on data online or something. I don't know. Where we don't have
Okay.
data or something, and we
Okay.
need. Anyway, we've not gotten there.
Okay.
I don't
Go
know,
ahead
sha.
with your question.
I
Let
think
me know.
they
Go
will
ahead.
always tell us that, okay, they will always advise that analysts do some cleanup before you
Okay.
engage on those
Okay.
data or something. And
All
then the second
right.
question is that you were giving some shortcuts, and
Yeah.
I don't know how this can work out, like to highlight the entire row or something.
Mm.
I was given control shift down directional key. On the directional key, control shift down. That is what I was given actually.
Who gave you?
Though I've not tried the A.
All right. So, all right. Just calm down. Calm down. Calm down. So, first of all, for your question, that's when you have a data set, you do data cleaning, before you delve into analysis. Well, that is very correct. And if you have listened to the onboarding session because you were not there, yes, you know that I highlighted the steps you need to take when you are doing data analysis. The first one is collection, all right? And the second is data cleaning before you now enter data analysis. Do you understand? And then before you now enter, making insights or data visualization. So you do your data visualization, especially when you need to present your findings to stakeholders. So you just want it to be simplified. They have presented you with data set of about 1 million rows. You don't just come back and say, you see this data set, it has this, it has that. No, you need to make it visually appealing. And that is the essence of data visualization. And then you prepare your reports. Right. So that was during the onboarding session. All right. And I actually said that everyone should listen to that onboarding session. So that is for your question on data cleaning. So what we are doing today is Excel basics. All right. So data cleaning will come in another session, and then you are going to enjoy it very much. And then to your question that you were given control shift down arrow, control shift up arrow, control shift middle arrow. Well, so this is it. You are going to log into or open the application you use. If it is desktop application, you'll be able to check if control up arrow, control down arrow works for your version of Excel. Excel keeps giving us new versions. So for what I am doing, I am using Excel 365, the Excel for the web. And I can pretty tell you that I think the same thing will work, which is control up arrow, control down arrow, and like that. And then if you want to select all your data, you can just use Control A. Do you understand? Control A. So I think that is for that. For data cleaning, it will come in another session. So I just want to understand, just want to know that everybody is on the same page with Excel basics, such that when we say, excuse me, when I say Barnabas, just go to the view tab and just do something. Freeze your pen. You will not start asking, oh, how will I do that? You understand? We'll just believe that, yes, everybody is, following what we are doing. And then for those that are not here, this session is also recorded so that they can benefit after that. I don't know if that answers your question.
Anyway, I don't want to go further. I don't want to go further. But this one, I think, is from the beginning actually. But let me clarify something. Like
Okay.
if it's the web something, I'm not familiar with the one you asked. The is it Excel 365 Abi? I don't know.
Yeah, except
Okay.
for the web.
I think I'm just hearing it at this session. But
Okay.
most especially I use two Excel. Is either the Google Sheets,
Okay.
because that is the one I use on web, or
Okay.
I use the normal Excel of different versions.
All right. So what's your question? You say you wanted to verify something.
Did they work as the same, like the Google
Okay.
Sheets
All
and
right. All
this?
right. All right. Okay. To answer that, I would tell you that once you know your basics, all right, you are able to implement that on different version of Excel sheet. So I also use Google Sheet. As a matter of fact, I like working online because I don't want to lose my data. I don't want the situation whereby I would have done maybe data cleaning just to do data analysis, and then something happens to my system and I just lose all the data. All right. I want to be able to access my data wherever I go. That's the second thing. And that is why I recommend that you find one online Excel. But if you are just learning, of course, all of these things I have taught today, you can replicate them on Excel desktop for practice. Do you understand? You can replicate them on Excel desktop. They are pretty much the same. So the worksheet has almost the same interface, but the difference is that there are some features I'm not able to access, but I'll be able to access them on desktop. So depending on what I need. So because this is a free version, if I pay for the paid version, I may be able to use all the features. But for this free version, I'm still not able to use all the features. So I can still find some features on desktop very useful depending on what I want to do. Barnabas, the main thing is for you to know what you are doing. You can go to a company now and they present you with Google Sheet and they say, oh yeah, work on this Google Sheet. And you, all of your life, you have been working with Excel desktop. If you know what you are doing, actually, you'll be able to see that, yes, Google Sheet, and therefore you said you are familiar with Google Sheet. You know that, yes, it has pretty much the same interface. So please, at this juncture, let's just move ahead to the next thing on the slide. So I hope that answers your question, Barnabas. We are taking it bit by bit. I don't want to jump to data cleaning. Why? You have not learned basics. And I want to believe that all the things we are learning together. And then, I know because for those people that have registered, we are at different stages. But just be patient so that those who do not know the basics, we also know the basics. You're right, all right, and then they will catch up with you. And someone like you knows the advance already. When they run into challenge, they are able to share on the group, and you are able to answer to them. All right. I hope that is okay by you, Barnabas.
Thank you.
All right. So if you are still following, now we want to get our ends dirty with all of the things that we have mentioned. So the first thing is I want to enter data. This one is on data entry, but I don't just want to keep talking. I want to get practical. So first thing you do is you open a blank worksheet and then complete the following task. So in row 1, starting from cell A1, so you are going to type month. You are going to type month, then you press tab. You are going to type housing. In the next column, you are going to type food and dining. You press enter each time, and then you move to personal, you press tab, you move to auto and transport. You type all of these things I'm mentioning, then you press tab, and then you also type health and fitness and then press tab. So we want to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns on our blank sheet. That is the first thing. And then the second thing we want to do is, should I go and do the first thing? Let's do the first thing first. All right, let's just open. This is my Excel for web interface, so I need a blank workbook. So I'll just click on that to open the blank workbook. So I want to type all of the information. I will type month, press tab, remember, month. I just want to create column, press tab. When you press tab, what happens? It will move to the next cell vertically. No, is it vertically? Horizontally. Horizontally when you press tab. So the next one is housing. Let me quickly type housing. Then you press tab. Go to food and dining. Then press tab. Move to personal. Type personal. Okay, my personal is having typo error. So if you want to correct anything, just come to this your formula tab here and insert it. Then you press tab. And then go to another one, type auto and transport. Auto and transport. Then you do what? You press tab again. So you press tab again and type in F and fitness. F and fitness. Fitness. Then you press tab again and go to, okay, I think that is all. That's all. We have been able to create how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 columns. So now there are a lot of things I want you to know. This is our column headers, all right? So you see that there are some cells that like on the other cell. So what do? You want to expand the cell. To expand the cell, what do? You bring your cursor to the line where you want to extend, then you drag it forward. You can also drag it backward if that is so much. All right, so I've been able to drag it backwards just for me to see all of the things I have inside the column. Also, this personal is okay. I can see everything. Now, auto and transport. I'm not able to see the remaining text for auto and transport. So I need to expand my cell. And also for F and fitness. It has extended beyond the column. So I'm going to extend that. I hope you got what I did here. And then I want to bolden this. Just looks like you have it in your Microsoft Word, you are able to use the Home tab on the ribbon. So use your bold and bolding that. So I'm sure that is done. All right, and that is data entry for you. So let's go back to another thing that we want to do here. So on the slide, I want to show us the next thing to do. So the next thing to do here is that we also want to create our row headers. And what do you want to have on the row headers? Okay, we want to have months. Months is the first column. Of course, we want to have January to, say, December. What we are trying to create is a kind of personal expense tracker or something like that. So we want to begin from January to December. You see, we have months, housing, food and dining, personal, auto and transported and feed. You just want to see what Madambas use maybe monthly, how much you spend on your housing, on food and dining, on personal stuffs, on auto and transport, health and fitness. You want to be able to have a tracker of all of these things. So that is why we are creating this worksheet. Then what we want to do next is we type January, we press enter. In cell A2, we type January, just the first three alphabets. All right, A2, in cell A2, type January, JAN, then you press enter. You type February, FEB, you press enter. You type March, just the first three letters, and then you use your fill handle to populate the remaining cells. So that is what we want to do next now. So let's just go back to our cell. Remember, this cell, we have not named it, but let's do what we are supposed to do first. So months, of course, January. What are we going to do? We press enter to go, downwards. Enter February, enter March, MAR. Now I want to inform you that Excel is very smart. You don't need to type everything. Just give it structure. Give it what you want to do. Maybe you want to number from 1 to 1 million. You just give it to Excel. Just number from 1 to 5. And then you do this. So now what do? You just select this using your control and downward arrow. Okay, sorry, your shift, we use shift to select, shift and downward arrow. Okay, and then you bring your cursor here to the place where you want to begin from. The moment you do that, it will turn to plus, the plus sign or the cross sign. It will turn to that, and then you use that is your filler. So that's fill and do. You just populate it to December. That will be the 13th cell. All right. So we have been able to populate the month column. All right. So we have done that for month column. So, but next thing I want us to do, please, let's name our file. What name should we give this file? Michael, please, what name should I give this file? At the start of this session, I showed us how we can rename our table.
Task 2.
Okay, so you navigate to save as, and want to name it. You rename it. Go to rename. Task 2. Thank you very much. So you just press enter. And the moment you do that, if you navigate to the top here, I hope you can still see my screen, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So you see it has changed automatically. So the name of our task, the name of our data set that we are trying to generate is task 2. Let's go back to our presentation. So the next thing we want to do is we want to add another column between the housing and food and dining. To add another column between the housing and food and dining, between the column housing and the column food and housing, we just want to add something in between. And then what we want to add, we'll call it bill and utility. So what do we need to do? We select the housing column, then right click and choose insert column and insert one column right. So in the new column now, we want to name it bills and utility. So let's quickly do that. Let's go back to our task 2 data set. What we want to do, in between housing and food and dining, we want to create another column, and then we want to call the column bills and utility. So we just select this column here, and then you right click. When you right click, it will bring options for you. Insert one column left. Do you want to insert it to the left side or to the right side? So let's select insert one column right, because we want that column to just be between housing and food and dining. All right, you see what we have. Now, I want to do something. Let's say we choose insert one column left. You see what we have. So how do you get back to normal? You see this undo. Once you want to do anything, you see that I'm not seeing my ribbon anymore. You just move up here, then it will show. So you see undo, the undo sign. You can find this undo on Google Sheet, on desktop application as well, and it's always with this sign. All right, so I want to undo what I just did. I don't want any column to the left. I only want it to the right. All right, so we are just going to name this column bills and utility. Okay, bills and utilities, and that is it. This is what we sorted the other time. Is like going under another column. So we want to be able to see all the text in that column. So we are going to just put our cursor on the line in between, and then we are going to drag it forward a bit. And see, now we are able to see our column. Now let's just generate random data. All right, let's generate random data easily, and then we use control field. Let's say Banaba, you are okay. I don't want to use Banaba. Let me use myself. Bimsola is using $100 every month, or Naira. So let me just populate. That is the amount I spend on. What did I do there? Let me go back. What did I do there? I used my filler undo. So if you want to populate the same data, you just put your cursor on that particular data, and then use the filler undo to fill everything. So it will populate for him. Now here, I want it, the bills and utility, I want it to increase by 100. So month 1, which is January, I used around 500. Bills these days, in fact, the inflation rate these days is something to think about. So because of inflation, every month I tend to spend more. So I spent 500 Naira in January. Now in February, I'm spending, what will I spend like that? Maybe I will spend 700. All right. Then in March, I want you to follow a particular pattern. I spend 900. So it's increasing by 200, right? So because Excel is smart, I want to see if it will be able to just populate for me. So that is it. Use your shift and downward arrow to select to that place where you have 900. And use your filler handle to populate. Gentlemen and everyone on the call, you can see that Excel is able to replicate the pattern for me. I don't know if you understand that. It's able to replicate. It has seen that everything is increasing by 200. So I was able to populate my data with that. So food and dining. Food and dining. How much did I spend on food this in January? Let me say I spent around 500. Yes. Let me say I spend around 500. So for food and dining, I've decided that it's just 500 I'll be spending. Or let me say it's increased by 500 because prices of things are not stable these days. I can't say it's just 500 I'll be spending on food and dining. All right. So it will be increasing by just 500. So what do? I want to use my filler handle again. But before then, just select to where you have the last figure and then come down with your filler handle. Excel is very smart. You can do this on your Excel desktop and even your Google Sheet. All right, so I've been able to populate that. For personal, Michael, please, how much do you spend personally monthly? You can just give me a random figure. Personal.
Let's say 200.
All right. So how do you want it to increase every month? Or you will spend the
Let's
same
say by 50.
by 50. So the next one should be 250. And this one also should be what? 300. Let's just give it 3 data like that for it to recognize the pattern that we are following. All right. So use your shift and downward arrow. Shift and downward arrow to select to the last value there and then just copy down. All right. You see, I want to show us something quickly. On auto and transport, it appears I spent the same thing on food and on auto and transport. So I want to copy what I have here. So you use what? Control C to copy. And then you come to the place where you want to paste it. So please don't just use Control V when you are copying your data set. Always use your paste special. Paste special is able to allow you either paste your values only or formulas only or formatting only or even transpose. Transpose means maybe you have it in vertical section before, then when you transpose, I'm going to show you all of these things because it's part of the Excel basics syllabus. So we want to paste what? Values only. Let's just paste values only and see what we have. You see what we have there? You see what we have there? All right. So for F and fitness, we also want to copy. Let me do something quickly here. We also want to copy for health and fitness. We want to copy what we have here under bill and utility. So, but before then, I want to be able to, use fill. All right. I have used fill yellow. I gave it yellow color. So I want to copy this. Control what? C, or you can right click and then you copy here. right? You can either right click and copy, or you use Control C. But we always want to be very smart when we are working on our worksheet. So just press Control C, and then here, I want to be able to copy the same way this thing is appearing. So I want it to appear the same way here. So if I used paste special value only, will it do that for me? You see, it's not able to copy the format for me. So let me just undo that and use another option. So because I want to undo, I will navigate to my undo button here, or you press Control Z. All right, so let me go again by saying paste special, by going to paste special and then use formulas only. Will that do it for me? Of course it did, but it did not give me the format that I want. Now let me Control Z. All right, so let me go again and use formatting only. If I use formatting only, let me see if it's going to give me. You see, I used formatting only and it's only gave me the color. How about the values? So let's Control Z and see if it is able to give us everything, both the color, the way it is, transport row. Okay, this is not like Excel desktop, but let's use our formatting only. And again, we want to copy values only. Okay, let's copy. Okay, you see, on Excel desktop, you are able to copy, to paste, format, and value at the same time. I hope we just got the trick that I am trying to pull here. All right, so let's go ahead to the task of the day before we wrap off, and we just go and do other things. All right, so that is for entering data, and then we're able to do paste special. We are able to also do what again? We are able to populate our data. We are able to use fill handle. We are able to use paste special using values only, using formatting only, and then using we are going to do using formula. So we have been able to do all of this. We have been able to edit our data and then use undo. All right. Now, what is this one saying? Copying and pasting data. We have been able to do that too. Then let's move on. We have really covered much here. And then formatting cells and data. So we want to format cells and data. What are we going to do? We press Ctrl A to select all the data. And then on the ribbon, we click Insert and then select Table. In the pop-up dialog box, ensure that the option My Table as Header. We always ensure that we check that option, My Table as Header. If not, it will just take your headers as maybe one of the values of your data set. All right, then we click OK. To change table style, we go to Table Design on the ribbon, or alternatively, if you are using a desktop version of Excel, you can use Ctrl T to create table or to make your data set table. So let's go back. Let's go back to our table. You see, this is our data set. Now, to you who is hearing data set for the first time, data set is a collection of data. You see, this data, we generated this data by ourselves. Okay, there is one thing I also want to do here. We need to freeze paint. We need to freeze paint because I see that I move downwards a bit. I'm unable to see my row header. I move I'm able to see my row header. Please, let's freeze pane. Let's freeze pane. You go to view, right? Go to view and say freeze pane. What do you want to freeze? Sorry, let me go back to my data. I want to be able to freeze both row header and column header. So I will just click on this B2 cell, this B2. I want to be able to see my month, all the values on my month, and then all the values on the first row. Each time I just do something, maybe I want to shift, I want to see downwards, or I want to see what is ahead. So let me see if we can do that. Of course, we have touched on how to freeze paint. So let's just do it together. So what are we going to select here? Barnabas, please tell me if you are still following, or yeah, Barnabas, if you are following, please let me know what I want to freeze both the column header and the row header. What should I use, Barnabas? Barnabas, are you there? Okay, I need to check if Barnabas is there. Barnabas is there, but he's not talking. So we are going to use the freeze at selection. All right, and that is going to freeze, both the column header and the row header. All right, so that is it. And then the next task we want to do, is to format our cell and table. So this is our cell and table. We want to just format it. So what is the essence of formatting your cells or your data? The essence is that in data analysis, when you have a set of data which you call data sets, you want to be able to walk in between your data sets, seamlessly. You want to be able to work seamlessly. That's the essence of creating your data set or formatting your data as a table. So what do I mean by formatting your data? I'm going to select all my data using, what will I use to select all my data? Control A to select all my data. And then I'm just going to go to the ribbon, and then I'm going to select, what am I going to select? Insert. Select insert, and then you go to table. See your table just under insert, and then you click your table. Don't forget, always check my table as headers. All right, then you click OK. Right, you see what we have. Our table has now been formatted. All right, so we see that now we have in front of each column, we have this drop down arrow that we can use to do a lot of things, but we will not go to that today. All right, so our data has been formatted. Now you can change the view of your data. Okay, I want to change to another thing. This is color view, right? I can change to another thing. So let me click one cell. Okay, and you see table design. Go to your ribbon, you see table design. Table design. Okay, I want to select green. So I just want to change that. You see, you are able to change to whatever color that you want, but that is insignificant actually. So let's go to the task of the day. The task of the day is, and where we are going to end this session, is that we want to be able to do some few calculations. We want to be able to do few calculations. So that's the next thing. So I want to show you what we want to do next, which is the task of the day, and then we take that as an assignment as well. I really want us to end as soon as possible. All right, we have been able to do data formatting, and we have something like this. Okay, so we want to perform simple calculations in Excel. So from A16 to A21, you just type, let's type sum average, minimum, maximum, count, and median. Okay, so that's what we want to do next. And after that, we can just call it a day. All right, so let's go back to our task 2. So it says from A. All right, so we just go to sum average. This is our assignment actually. I'm just going to use one as, okay, let me do Ctrl Z because I don't want this to be part of my data. So I'm just going to leave like 2 spaces. Sum average, minimum, maximum, count, and median. So this is the task of the day. So want to do the sum. I'm going to do 2, and then I'll leave you with the rest. You go and find maximum, minimum, count, and median on your own. So I want to be able to sum. What I have spent on housing from January to December, what I have spent on bills and utility from January to December. So let's go there. So when you want to use your formula, you always start with equals to. So let me call this total. So let me go back. I want to call this total. Totals. And then I want to bold in this, so you know it's not part of the table. All right. And then I want to, under more options, you can utilize it. So I want it to be utilized. So now if you want to know the total of what you spent on housing from January to December, you just say equals to, where are we starting from? We want to start from here. See, automatically to here. So let's go again. I have not inserted my function. So we want to do what? We want to sum. So you say equals sum. So you can add sum from there. And then where to where? B2, or you can go back and choose, okay, from your cell B2 to cell, don't want to say cell B2. Let's go and select, then it will populate automatically from this cell to this cell. All right, and then use your close bracket and then press enter. You see, this is the summation or the sum of what you spent on housing. All right, so you want to just populate. You don't want to be doing it one by one. For bills and utility, what do you have? So to do that, just use your fill handle to fill this. All right. I hope you see what Excel just did for us. So let's go to average. To find average, you can say equals to average AVG. Okay, average, you need to write it in full. Average. So open bracket, let's go to our data set and let's select from 100 from B2 to B13. So let's close our bracket. Don't forget to close your bracket and press enter. You see what we have there? Now it's saying the average is 100. So we want to populate for utility, for food and dining, for personal, for auto and transport, and for health and fitness. You see what we have there? All right. So I'm going to leave you with the remaining aspects. So the mean is minimum. You find the minimum value for each of the columns. And then you find the maximum value, you find the count, you count the number of values, and then you also find the median. Why did I forget to bold in my median? So let me bold in it. Come here to more options and utilize it. All right, ladies and no, I'm the only lady here, and gentlemen, I hope you are able to follow through to this point. So I'm going to download this file, and then I'm going to share it with us so that we are going to work on it. All right. So at this juncture, I just want to welcome questions from anyone that has a question. Okay, Barnabas, were you able to follow?
Yeah, no question from my end.
Okay, and Michael, were you able to follow through to this point?
Yeah, yes.
All right, thank you very much. So we are going to continue from this stage the next time we meet. All right, so I just want to thank everyone for coming, and I hope you have learned one or two things from this session. So, Barnabas, how often would you like that we have a session like this? Let me ask you.
I can. Sorry, my something is breaking and I couldn't follow
I
up.
can hear you.
So,
Okay.
okay, you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you.
Because the thing has been breaking since I didn't even know when things were going. I was just like, how did we go to total or something? Because it has been breaking all along.
Okay.
If you see, I went off and came back again.
Don't worry about that. So you can use the recording to check where you missed out. All right. So the recording will be provided for everyone on the group.
But if is for the day, I can't really say the day because I have so many
I said, how
sessions
often?
to attend.
Okay, I got that. How often do you think we can have a session like this in the hub?
I can't really say actually.
Okay.
But it's good during weekend like this. And
Okay.
it can be in the morning because I know that you were live in the morning but went off and posted a
Yes,
message.
I went off because I see that most of us, this is weekend, want to do house chores, want to do all sort of things in the morning, so that by the evening time we can
Yeah, because
do something like
I think I saw 10. I think I saw, is it 12?
12. I
12 is
posted 12
fine.
earlier on.
12 was fine.
Okay. Okay,
And
for
10
you.
is fine by me because
Okay.
I barely have something by 10
All
except
right.
I want to clear my desk.
Okay. All
But
right. I got that, Barnabas. So I'm going to just put up a poll for everybody on the group to select the time and then the days of the week, maybe weekend, that they want us to have a session like this. But Barnabas, I hope you are able to gain one or two things from this session to add up to the knowledge you had before.
Yeah,
Right.
it's really nice and it's good. Even though I've missed some session before and I rewind back. I didn't know that I've I've missed those sessions. I don't know what was discussed in those sessions actually.
I kept
Because
posting the recording, but maybe we have refused to listen to recording. You can just put it on fast mode when you want to listen to record, so that you'll be able to listen to it as fast as possible. All right, and then you can go to the recording of this session as well to just update yourself where you missed out of the session. All right, thank you very much for your time. I thank you very much and for being patient to learn. Okay, as much as I want to teach, you cannot really force people to learn things like this. So it must come out of your own free will. So I must thank you for coming and for your patience. Michael, thank you very much. So
thank
I want
you.
to ask you, how often do you think we should be having this session, Michael? All right. Michael is not talking. So thank you very much, Michael. Thank you, Barnabas, for joining. All right. So we look forward to another session where we go into advanced data analytics in Excel. Thank you very much for coming. All right. Thank you. Bye for now, and do have a lovely night's rest.
And you too. Bye. Thank you for your time. My
All
regards to
right. You're
family.
welcome. Okay. I will
Yeah.
deliver your message. Thank you. Bye for now. Bye bye.
Bye.